In this section, we're going to look at installing a contact form plugin for use on our contact page. So here we are on the WordPress dashboard. So I go to Plugins, Add New. Again, in this case, I'll just click on the Popular tab because the most popular contact form plugin is this one here. It's called Contact Form 7. Right, this is Contact Form 7. Again, if we look at the details, there's an awful lot of people using this and recommending it. It was updated fairly recently. It has actually not been tested with the latest version, but I happen to know it's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is install it by clicking on Install Now. Then once it's installed, I click on the Activate button. Now with Contact Form 7, once it's installed, as you can see here, if we go and look at the settings, what you've got is the basic default form here, and you've got this thing called a shortcode. Can you see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that shortcode. So I've dragged across it and I press Control-C. You'll see why in a minute. So in this case, what we've got is a form here which connects to a page via what's called a shortcode. So what I'll do in a minute is I'll basically embed this shortcode into one of my pages, the Contact Us page, and that will link this particular form to that particular page. If I want to, I can click on Edit here. And as I say, this is the default. If you want, there's loads of other things we can do. So for instance, you can have as many different fields here as you want. You know, this is a very advanced plugin. So for instance, I could have attachments that people could email to me. I could have like drop-down boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, all sorts of things. As it is, I'm just simply going to take the default, and the secret with forms is keep them as simple as possible. Sometimes people get carried away, so they have like first name, second name, last name, company, blah blah blah, and it's just too much. So the longer, the more complicated you make a contact form, the less likely people are to actually use it. So in this case, we're just going to have your name, your email address, a subject, your message, and the submit. So I'll just simply save that as it is. So we just use the default one. Now all I have to do is to go to a page. So I'll go and display all pages. And if I bring up the Contact Us page, at the moment I've got all this information here. What I can do here is just click here and say, let's go and add a paragraph block, an empty one. So what I'm going to do here is just basically put that shortcode in here. So you see that shortcode being displayed. Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up so it's displayed at the top there. I'm now going to update this. If I then click on this preview button, you can see there's our contact form being displayed with the text underneath. So that really illustrates what shortcodes do. So in the back end, I see the shortcode, whereas in the front end, if I click on preview, you see the effect of that shortcode, which in this case is to display this Contact Us form. So I'll close that tab down, go back to where we were. Now you may be thinking, well, okay, if we go and look at the preview, we can fill in the details there, or a customer can click on send, but where does the email go? Well, that's the question. If we close that down, if we go to settings, general, there's an email address here. Can you see that? By default, it picks up that email address, which is why it's important you have the right email address in there. If, on the other hand, you want to manually go and configure this plugin, what we can do is go back to our plugins. So go to Plugins, go to Installed Plugins, and we've got two now, the Backup Program and Contact Form 7. If I want to override the default email setting, I can click on where it says Settings, go and edit the contact form, go and click on where it says Mail, and in here I can override and put whatever address I want in there. There's also various other things I could do. So I could change the default settings here. So there's lots you can do in that. Basically, in this short video, I just wanted to show you the basics. But if you go and have a look there, you'll find there's a lot more you can do. You know, there's lots more options there. But that's basically how you use it and how you configure it. So I say one more time, we'll just go to the front end, click on Contact, and now we see our Contact Us form. And in order to send it to the nominated email address, you just simply click on Send once you've filled in these details. Notice that also you can have fields. Each one of these is called a field. A field can be required or not. So for instance, it's best to have a short number of fields, all of which should be required.